Sahid Faris. Today we have a special guest, Aditya Menon, senior journalist and the political editor of The Quint. As Delhi gears up for the assembly elections, Aditya will help us to unpack the political landscape, analyze the shifting trends, and to explore the strengths and weaknesses of the key parties involved. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
So, as we look at the past few years, like in from 2014 or 15 onwards, the voters of Delhi have been backing BJP in the Lok Sabha
Yeah,
elections, and at the same time, they have been backing Aam Aadmi Party in the assembly
absolutely.
elections.
Yeah.
Uh, what this contrast? How could you explain this contrast and how this might gonna impact in the coming election?
So I think the voters of Delhi are very personality centered because even we saw that in 98 and 2003, Congress under Sheila Dikshit used to win comfortably at the assembly level.
Yeah.
But in the elections in 98 and 99, it was the BJP under Atal Bihari Vajpayee which swept the Lok Sabha seats in Delhi. So I think the people of Delhi have probably chosen to vote for Prime Minister Modi at the national level, and this is now the third election in which BJP has swept all 7 seats. And the last 2 elections, they have voted for Aam Aadmi Party under Arvind Kejriwal, and that to given huge majorities to it. I think there is to understand the Aam Aadmi Party's vote, there is about 20% are committed supporters of Aam Aadmi Party who vote for it, irrespective of which election it is. But the remaining 35% they get partly from the Congress and partly from the BJP. These are voters who at the national level feel that they are either supporting the BJP or they're supporting Congress. But at the state level, they feel okay, Arvind Kejriwal is the tallest leader at the state, and they want to back him at the state level. So I think this is how I think the demography is sort of working in Delhi. It's purely a state level equation which is working in favor of AAP.
When it comes to the caste and religious vote share, Delhi have a huge amount of upper caste vote share. At the same time, some seats like Sultanpur Majra, a huge amount of Dalit votes are there. And they have been backing Congress and AAP for so long. And how this dynamics gonna work? What do you think?
So I think what happened in Delhi is that BJP and earlier Jansangh, they became very comfortable in Delhi. Uh, Even when nowhere else Jansangh was winning after independence, they were still getting good support in Delhi.
Delhi.
So they didn't feel, and Delhi's demography changed considerably from the 50s, 60s to the 90s and 2000s. And they, because they had this assured 30-40% upper caste vote, the Punjabi vote and the trader vote, BJP didn't feel the need to expand beyond it. They didn't reach out to Dalits the way they could have. They didn't reach out to migrant workers the way they could have, and the Congress filled that vacuum through the 90s. So I think that is why this caste dynamics has worked in favor of non-BJP parties. Delhi has about 17%, 16.5% to be precise, Dalit votes. And overwhelmingly, these votes at the assembly level have first been going to Congress until 2008.
2008,
And
2014.
15 and 20, they've gone to Aam Aadmi Party. I mean, just to give an example of how caste dynamics plays out, there are these adjacent seats, Rohini, Sultanpur Majra, Mangolpuri. Rohini has a Dalit population of just 5%. Muslim population is also negligible. So it's overwhelmingly an upper caste seat and middle class upper caste, DDA flats, lot of DDA flats are there in Rohini. And this is one of BJP's strongest seats in Delhi. On the other hand, Sultanpur Majra has 44% SC vote. Mongolpuri has about little less than 40%. These are seats BJP has never won in its history. So I think this is how this caste segregation no one acknowledges that exists in Delhi. It is because of this caste segregation that certain seats become very strong for BJP and certain seats the BJP really struggles to win. Whether they will be able to penetrate Dalit vote this time, we don't know.
No. Like when we discuss about the Dalit vote, we saw in Haryana they played some classification strategy. I think they will play that card too. How it might gonna affect the election?
Yeah, so I mean, like in the recent article I had written, there are these two big subcastes that exist within Dalit. There are these Jatav, which is in census listed as Chamar community, which is about 38% of the entire SC vote in Delhi, and 21% is the Balmiki Samaj. The perception is that usually the Jatav Samaj has done much better. The educational attainment is high. They took to education much earlier than other Dalit communities. So, and this community has been the bulwark of support of Bahujan Samaj Party, and in Delhi, the Congress, as also in Haryana, and in Punjab as well. So, the BJP has consciously targeted the other communities. In many states, they have actually, like in Haryana, they have succeeded in winning over Valmiki Samaj votes. Um, for instance, in the recent election, because of this subclassification judgment of the Supreme Court, they were able to sort of use the aspiration of the non-Jatav Dalits, and they consolidated that section. They want to do the same in Delhi. But Delhi, it's slightly trickier because this is also the same section which is one of the biggest beneficiaries of Aam Aadmi Party's welfare schemes. Valmiki community has supported AAP in a very considerable way in Delhi. So it won't be that easy for BJP to play that play the subcaste card that much in Delhi. Also, caste politics is not very explicit in Delhi because being a urban casteism operates very differently and often sort of takes the form of class exploitation rather than in a place like Haryana where it is still a caste based exploitation.
I am putting the liquor case and corruption aside. The Congress, Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP accuses each other over the Rohingya settlement, and this sometimes put the Muslims in Delhi in a contentious light. So, how will this community narrative gonna work, and in the mind of voters and also in the party strategies?
So I think two aspects are there to it. I think what has happened is that the entire narrative is being created against alleged Rohingya and Bangladeshi immigrants. One category that has become hugely vulnerable because of this are Bengali-speaking Muslims from West Bengal and Bengali districts of Assam. So they are Indians as anyone else. But because of this crackdown that is happening, any Muslim who is speaking Bengali is seen in a particular way. So we have seen in areas like Vasant Kunj and in areas like Jahangirpuri, there are these crackdowns that happen, and many in this section are feeling vulnerable. Whether I mean some of them could have chosen to move away just for the time being until this entire pressure eases. So that is one aspect to it. The second aspect is that this entire propaganda around Rohingyas and Bangladeshis can be used to polarize majority community. And especially, there are these areas on in East Delhi where BJP, even in the last election, even though the final seat-wise result did not reveal it, but if you look at vote share, BJP's vote share increased considerably in East Delhi. So the people in these housing societies, they have managed to consolidate by creating a sort of communal polarization. So I think this might just add to that consolidation for the BJP.
Okay. You even wrote in 2022, like after the civic polls, Aam Aadmi Party lost significant amount of votes and lost many seats in the stronghold constituencies like Okla. So, with Muslims forming more than 9-10% of the vote share, uh, where might their support shift in this election?
So in Delhi, Muslims have broadly three major pockets. One big pocket is in Northeast Delhi, where you have the seats like Mustafabad, Seelampur, and Babarpur. There are other seats also where there is sizable Muslim population. These three seats have the highest concentration. Then you have Old Delhi, where you have Matia Mahal, Ballimara, and Chandni Chowk. Again, three more seats. And then you have Okhla. Politics operates in different ways in all three places. In Old Delhi, the negativity towards Aam Aadmi Party is much less compared to Northeast Delhi and Okhla. Old Delhi was not affected by the polarization that happened during the Northeast Delhi riots. Old Delhi has strong local leaders who are with the Aam Aadmi Party. We have Shoaib Iqbal, who has been MLA about 6 times. His son is contesting from Matia Mahal, which is the Jama Masjid area seat. Then you have Imran Hussain, who has been consistently a minister in AAP since 2015. And before that, he was a BSP councillor in Bali Maran. So he is again a well entrenched local leader from that area. So I think, and this time Shoaib Iqbal's son Ali Iqbal is contesting, and Imran is again contesting from that seat. So they are reasonably in a comfortable position. They don't have much competition in those seats. In Northeast Delhi, Aam Aadmi Party has tried to make amends. They gave one, I think, standing committee position to a Muslim councillor from it was Seema Puri, I think. Then they have brought in Chaudhry Mateen Ahmed from Congress, who has been again one of the strongest leaders, Muslim leaders in Northeast Delhi, who's really championed the cause of communal harmony in Northeast Delhi. He used to organize this Hindu-Muslim Ekta camps and used to give camps for Kawad Yatris. So they have brought in Chaudhry Mateen Ahmed. His son Chaudhry Zubair is contesting from Seelampur. So they have tried to rectify at least Seelampur. Congress has taken the AAP MLA Abdul Rahman in that seat. Mustafabad remains a problem for AAP. Their last MLA was not very popular and they have replaced that person. But again, the new candidate isn't getting the kind of response that they were hoping. So Mustafabad is a very dicey seat. Congress candidate Ali Mehdi is also strong. Then you have Tahir Hussain, the jailed councillor who's jailed under UAPA, contesting under AIMIM ticket. And Tahir Hussain is a locally influential leader before his arrest. Now, a lot of his resources they have been seized and everything. So, his financial resources have suffered, but he still enjoys. He is from the Safi community, which is there in large numbers in that area. So, Mustafabad is a dicey seat. Mustafabad is also a seat where BJP has a good chance of winning if the Muslim vote splits two ways or three ways. Then we come to Okhla. Okhla has a Muslim population of close to 65-70%. So BJP is more or less not in the reckoning in that seat. So here I think the competition is between AAP, who remains a very strong force there, because Amanatullah Khan, even though there is resentment against AAP, the personal resentment against him is not as high as it is in some other seats. But he is facing a lot of criticism from both the Congress and the MIM. I think the trick here is who is winning the vote of the dissatisfied Muslim of Okhla. This was the epicenter of Shaheen Bagh movement. Shifaur Rahman was integral part of that movement, and he is now contesting on a MIM ticket. And Okhla has done experimental voting. They have punished incumbents without thinking BJP will benefit from those kinds. So people are bold in that. Just after Batla House encounter, when there was a by-poll, Okhla defeated Congress and made RJD win. Now that RJD MLA Asif Khan's daughter Ariba is contesting on Congress ticket. So is Okhla going to do that once more? And if yes, who is going to be the beneficiary? Will it be Shifaur Rahman Saab or will it be Ariba Khan? From what one is hearing, there's a lot more buzz around around Shifaur Rahman's campaign. But is it enough to sort of win over about half of Amanatullah's votes? We don't know.
So it may split the vote.
It may split, but at least Okhla is not like Mustafabad, where Mustafabad Muslims are about 40-45%. So vote split means BJP wins. Okhla, even if vote splits two ways, BJP will still be about 30%, and whoever within 65%, one party will be 35 and one will be 30, even worst case of the split if one takes. So Okhla is a difficult seat for BJP to win. But how much of AAP's votes does Shifaur Rahman get? I think that is important.
Play of AIMM it's this time it's only competing in 2 seats, as you said before. Uh, what, what do you think their place? Like it's only for showing their strength, or winning the both seats?
So I mean, MIM usually fights to win wherever it contests. This has been MIM's consistent policy in at least I've seen, like we have seen this election, we saw the recent Maharashtra election, then there was the 2020 Bihar election, all the elections in Telangana they have contested at least in the last 10 years. MIM's strategy has been to contest less and win at least one or two and have an OIC like figure in that state. So this has been their policy. They, I think, believe that they have a strong chance in Okhla, and Mustafabad is a very outside chance. It depends on how to what extent Congress and AAP are able to split Hindu votes. But Okhla is still their most realistic chance. I think what I feel is important in MIM's campaign is that this is the first time they have chosen to give representation to activists and civil society in the form of Shifa Rahman Saab. Earlier, MIM, whenever they enter a place, they enter a new state, they sort of look for already established Muslim
Yeah,
leaders.
in Bihar they take the
Exactly.
previous MLAs.
Yeah, we had Akhtarul Iman
Liman.
and we had the the son of Taslimuddin. They
Both
joined
son, yeah.
MIM. So, it was very clear that these leaders were already existing there.
Yeah.
You take them and you sort of, use their support, give them the OIC brand name and put up a good campaign, and that's how you win. In Aurangabad, it was a different experiment. You put up a secular figure like Imtiaz Jalil, who ran a secular campaign on water supply and on Dalit Muslim unity, who has good terms with Maratha leaders also, and completely very identity part was diluted in his campaign, so he was able to sort of bring a good coalition and win that seat. Here it's another experiment. They are taken someone like Shifaur Rahman, who is a UAPA detainee, who has been in jail for 5 years. I think here the model that they are using actually is from Punjab and Kashmir. We have Amritpal Singh, another NSA detainee, now a UAPA detainee also, and he won from the Khadur Sahib Lok Sabha seat in the Lok Sabha election. And you have Engineer Rashid, another political prisoner who won from Baramulla in Kashmir. So I think MIM is looking at those two experiments to sort of and looking at that, they have fielded Shifa Rahman. They're making a political statement, and their campaign is hugely directed towards Aam Aadmi Party, and Aam Aadmi Party's silence during the Delhi riots, and the kind of statements they made on Tablighi Jamaat during the COVID pandemic. So I think it's a unique experiment MIM is doing in this election. Again, we have to see what happens about it.
When we went to the field, we clearly understand that the people are very happy with the welfare schemes of Aam Aadmi Party. I want to ask you that will the accusation of corruption and liquor case, is it going to overshadow the welfare schemes?
So I think for the poorer voters, the corruption scheme does not matter much. But it has become a talking point for voters who want to attack Aam Aadmi Party, especially middle class voters. I think for middle class voters, it has now been 10 years of consistent AAP rule, and there is some amount of dissatisfaction in this section. If one speaks to people in RWAs, in resident welfare associations, and people staying in housing societies, they do say, "Oh, look, he has built Sheesh Mahal," or there is this alleged liquor scam that is there. But beneficiaries of welfare schemes, the corruption is not an issue. There are issues. Okay, we are getting this. We are getting free bijli, and there are free bus services for women, but roads and civic infrastructure is not good. Second issue is that Aam Aadmi Party till 22 at least had the excuse that they do not control MCD. So many of the works which are to be done at the local level, they don't have any power over them, but now they do. It has now been 2.5, 3 years since they took control of MCD. So there is that level of anti-incumbency also. People are asking questions. Okay, now you have both Delhi government and MCD. Why are the roads not in good condition? Why is sewage treatment, garbage disposal not happening in an efficient manner? So there are these issues. But I think welfare schemes are uh, have given Aam Aadmi Party some degree of stability, and it I think they will probably contain their losses to some extent.
Okay, that's it. Let's hope for the better. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.